Welcome back to the Magic Minds podcast. I'm Matt Burke. You're watching and listening to the Liberties #1 podcast. Yup, the Liberties. Yup, the fans. On the show today, I'm joined by the wonderful, the smooth criminal, Tommy Ellis. Tommy, what's the crack?
It's good to see you. Good to be here with everybody. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, it's fucking absolutely whopper. We're back. I haven't done an interview in a while. The last one I did was with the wonderful Eileen Flynn up in Lambra Park, and she's a deadly human being. So I just have an amazing opportunity to just sit down and have conversations with deadly human beings, and Tommy is one of those deadly human beings. So Tommy, tell us, how would you describe, before we get into the interview and why I've asked you to sit down and have the chats, how would you describe what you do, the work you do?
It's never been the most straightforward, easy thing to describe what I do. It's never been straightforward and easy, and I guess it's been more solidified over the last, let's say, March 10th, 11th, 2020 is when I let go of a particular business, a particular coaching type of business, and then I started to move more deeply into the energetic work that I do with people. So, what I do is I work with people one-to-one, and I wait. That's what I do. I wait and I listen, and I keep on listening until such time as that person wakes up from the dream of their own drama. So I wait and I guide and I show, and I'm like Rachel, my partner, would describe me as a roadman. It's very, very simple. It's very, very straightforward when the unconscious material is pointed out, where people can kind of navigate slightly differently. So what I do is I sit with people, I listen and get a sense of the frequency that's being broadcast from them. Then I feed that back to them, and then they'll go into denial about that for a while. And then eventually they'll wake up to, okay, they start to be able to hear themselves the way I can hear them. And they start to be able to hear the particular frequency or drama that's broadcasting from a particular part of their body. I start to show them that very cleanly and clearly, and then we start to get rid of it, and then things start to change in their day-to-day life. I'm only interested in working with people in this way so that ultimately something changes for them. If nothing changes, I've no interest in a kind of a therapeutic interaction. I've seen all of that. I know what it is. It's good for what it's good for, and it's not really good for the type of change that I'm pointing to. So that's what I do. I wait. A lot of the time I wait. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
We've had some good journeys.
We've had some interesting conversations, and there's been a bit of waiting. There's been a few tumbleweeds gone by, all right, what I've been waiting to.
Yeah.
When I heard you saying roadman, I thought you meant as in a gangster roadman.
Yeah, no.
Not that one.
Like a fella with a sign that says stop, go. That's it.
Yeah. I thought you were like one of those London lads.
No, don't think so.
Why did I ask Tommy to come on to the show? Fascinating. Like, again, I love serendipity. I love synchronicities. And I was going through, a couple of months ago, back in the summer, I was going through a difficult moment, right? And I couldn't put my head on. We were at the breaking up with somebody, and I couldn't get my mind around why I was having this physiological, psychological reaction to this. I've been to therapy forever and a day. I go to holotropic. I'm a mindfulness meditation practitioner, August teacher. I've done numerous qualifications in mental health, blah, blah, blah. Why am I responding to this? What? It doesn't all add up for me. Life was just not adding up. Going, why is this? When I go and do a gig, why am I petrified? Why am I on fire like somebody's putting a petrol and lit it? And I was like, what the fuck is this all about? So I hadn't seen Tommy since say we go 2000, 2001, 2002, when we were in a gym, the Ivy gym. Hadn't seen him forever and a day. I remember him. Remember, he's a good skin. And then over the last couple of months, year, I've seen his work, and his name popped up a few times. And then with that, I seen his work on this Sunday when I was really struggling, or on Monday or Saturday I was really struggling. I was like, I wonder what he does. And I started looking at him and went, wow, that's interesting. I'd like to know about that. And I don't know why. I sent him a message, says, let's go for a coffee. Let's meet up. And before I know it, we were in Herbert Park. My pal
right.
D. Collins works there.
Yeah.
We're walking around. I told him the crack, like what Tommy had just talked about there, the frequencies. Tommy said some things. And it all just went click, 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 click. And I went, wow, that all just makes sense about my physiology and frequencies and biochemistry. And I was like, holy shit. So I started working with Tommy, and life has changed. Life has changed a lot. I have changed a lot.
Yeah, and the thing that's very important to say is that I don't change people. I don't have a methodology. I do what I do, which is I in terms of, there's certain new age sayings or language that I find they're ineffective. They don't help. So I don't hold space for anybody. I don't really go in for that type of language. So again, we had the interaction we had, and then a series of energy just unfolds, and there's pointers along the way. If you do this, then this is going to happen. If you do that, then that's going to happen. If you don't do this, then expect that. And it's kind of like painting by numbers, but there is no methodology as such. There's no methodology. There's a certain understanding and language that you start to wake up to. So a part of the language would be, let's say, there's all sorts of stuff going on in the world right now. So let's just check out the language. So the language would be, there is no solution towards peace. There is no solution towards peace. Peace is the solution. So it's inherently so before you take a footstep. If you can understand that, you can get to the solution that's prior to a problem showing up in your body. Does that make sense?
Say it again.
Okay, so there's the spiritual meme that goes around is, be true to who you are, or be your best self, or whatever it is. I've no interest in that. I have an interest in what you are. I have an interest in what you are being realized in the body. When what you are is realized in the body, it doesn't have anything to do with a who. It has to do with what you are. When what you are starts to move through your body, you get to experience 3D space and time differently. When you're subjected to, the non-duality question of who are you? And so a non-duality teacher might say to you, who are you? And you could say, well, I'm Matt, or I'm Tommy, or whatever. None of that's true. None of that's true. There's an artificial reference, which is, I'm Matt, I do this, I'm Tommy, I do that. That's all a concession to language. The work that I do, what I'm interested in, is getting to what you are, and I do it through pointing out very clearly what you're not. There is no solution in the world by moving toward peace. You don't move toward peace.
You're inherently peace. You're inherently
You don't
love.
move. You don't move toward the solution. You're already the peace. So what does that mean to a soldier? It means put the gun down. It means put it down. Walk away. You're peace.
Yeah.
You're not a soldier.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we say to people, you're the soldier. Put the gun down. Put the knife down. Put the fighting down. Put the arguing down. Put down.
Yeah.
You're the peace.
You're peace.
So
you are what you've been looking for. You are where you're looking from. You're the fucking solution this place has been craving. You are what you are. not Matt. It's not Matt. If you go looking for Matt, you're not going to find him. Now that's a mad thing to be saying.
Mad. I say that to people and they think I'm off me rocker.
Yeah. So
How do we
Yeah.
how do we break that down for someone to understand? How can we give like a simplistic way of explaining that to people?
you've got sense perceptions. There's seeing, feeling, tasting, touching, hearing. You've got sense gates. So you've got seeing, tasting, touching, hearing, feeling. They're your sense gates. Within those sense gates, there's the idea that you are located in your head round about here. You got the sense that I'm Tommy, this is me, I feel this, I hear that, I see the other. All of that is like the animation. It's not what you are. What you are is lighting up the body. When you can start to negate the idea, let's say your name is Jessica. Every problem that you've ever had, Jessica, has been born and broadcast from Jessica. Every problem that you've ever had, when it was investigated, was born from this idea of a Matt, of a Tommy. When you start to take that personality structure and dissolve it, what happens is, what shows up is what's inherently there. When you get rid of the clouds, you're going to see the sun. When you get rid of the personality, you're going to see peace. You're not going to have to, Jessica or Matt or Tommy is never going to go out into the world and find peace. You're not going to find peace. How could fucking peace find peace? You are peace. You can't find it.
And everyone's going looking for it.
And you still haven't found what I'm looking for, and I still haven't found. Yeah.
Happiness. They're on the track for happiness, peace, love, abundance.
Okay, Bono, The Edge, Larry, why haven't you found it? I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Why haven't I found it? Well, I went out to the therapist, sat with him for 10 years, still haven't found what I'm looking for. I went and I drank ayahuasca for 5 years, still haven't found what I'm looking for. You were in multiple different dimensions over a 5 to 10 year period with this ayahuasquero and this curandero and this, that and the other type of shaman. Still you're in bits. You're in a heap on a Tuesday morning. You don't know why. None of it worked. And that's because the personality structure that went and did the breath work, the personality structure that went to the therapist, the personality structure, the Jessica, the Matt, the Rachel, the Tommy, the Biba, the Aisha, whatever, that went and looked for a solution. How the fuck can you go looking for a solution when you are the solution? Strip away the problem, strip away the clouds, and you're going to see the light. It's exactly how this place is. It's exactly how non-duality teachers teach. They teach through negation. What does that mean? You're not Matt. You're not. You've never been Matt. You've never been born. You're never going to die. You're the energy, the light, the consciousness, your awareness. It's obvious. When you go looking for a solution from what you're not, which is the personality. So when Tommy's got a problem, Tommy's got a problem on a Tuesday morning, and he leaves the Shire, he finds Frodo, he finds Bilbo, he's right, lads, I'm in a fucking heap. I need something. Frodo's like, well, I've got some psilocybin. Okay, hang on to them. We might be needing them. And then you've got fucking Bilbo, right? Bilbo's like, well, listen, I got a glass pipe and some DMT. I'm like, okay, hang on to that. And in rides Gandalf, right? So Gandalf's there. Now I have a whole crew, and I think I'm Tommy, and off to Saruman we go. Off to conquer the darkness. But the first step you made out into the Shire, where you needed a Gandalf and a Frodo and a Bilbo to bring you on this mad journey, brings you back to the place from where you started. There wasn't a problem to begin with. That's the thing that people can't grok with this. It's very hard for people to understand the very problem that you're looking for a solution for isn't available when you go looking for it in a real way. We couldn't find a problem now if we went looking for it. We couldn't find it. You can make up all sorts of things as much as you want. All the breathworks and the ice baths and the Cambo and the ayahuasca, all of it's predicated on, I have a problem, now I need a solution. Vomiting in a circle of 25 people in Peru, you think you're going to get a solution? You're not. I've seen it. I've seen it. I haven't. If you think, when you bring the false reference, I am Tommy, I've got a problem, I need a psychotherapist. You're going to go to the psychotherapist and you're going to talk about your childhood. Your childhood happened in 1985, it's now 2023. If you think you're going to find any sort of relief with that, you're not. You won't. It won't work. Why? Because you're beating the drum of a problem that isn't so. It was a problem in 1985, but it ain't now.
Okay, hold that there. So this person has this problem, they experience trauma in the house, trauma in their life, death or abuse or something. They didn't deal with it, they suppressed it down. They decide in 2020, 2021, 2023, I'm going to do some counselling.
Yeah.
Why will this not work then? Because, you know, we're told therapy works, you know, get the problem up, we'll talk about it, we'll express it.
Yeah, and it's very, very
Help
simple.
people with that.
It's very, very simple. If your therapist, if your psychotherapist or psychiatrist is not schooled or well versed in bringing the problem to the surface that you want to talk about. So you want to talk about what was happening in 1985. No problem. Talk about what happened in 1985. Why would you want to do that? To bring it to the surface. Why would you want to bring it to the surface of consciousness? Because it's not being suppressed anymore. You don't want to be suppressing 1985 in 2023, because what that's going to do is it's going to repeat 1985 in 2024. You don't want to copy and paste 1985 into your future. You don't want to do that. So, why would you go to a psychotherapist? To bring it to the surface in order to clean it. What does clean it mean? It means you bring it to an end. The therapists, the Irish Association for Counselling and Therapy, are not bringing your childhood to an end. They're keeping your childhood going. They're keeping your problem going because their mortgage depends on it, because their debt depends on it. That's their business. They are in the business of you talking about your past. They're not in the business of you coming to a solution. They're not in the business of you being the solution. Why? Because then you won't need them. You won't need them. And what's going to happen when you don't need them? You're going to be free. So, it's obvious.
It's, well, I done therapy for over 12 years, done holotropic, and I love my holotropic family, love Debbie, I loved Maggie, I loved all that work.
Yeah.
But it didn't get me where I felt like I should have been at the time.
Exactly.
It brought me to a point, you know, same, like, again, no disrespect to therapy, no disrespect to my holotropic family, the people that I love, and for being so kind to me. But something just wasn't right in me with the therapy, with the holotropic, with the, like, as much as I loved it, and I loved around the people, and I got so much love, why was I still responding to life? Why was I, when I get a text from my ex, or when I get an email out of somebody, I'd be fucking lit up. Like, where was the transferable skills? Like, I mean,
Where was the transferable skills? So why don't you go back to the therapist, go back to the breathwork community and say, hang on a second. I spent this amount of money. Sorry, I keep on coughing. Excuse me. You just said, where are the transferable skills? Exactly. How come you did this and this and this and this, and it didn't transfer to the day or the time when you needed it? Because you are beating the drum of what's not happening in the breath work. You are beating the drum, not you personally. When I say you, I mean me too. Beating the drum of what's not happening with the therapist, with the breathwork facilitator, with the ayahuasquero. You're beating the drum of the personality structure. You're beating the drum of the problem, which is, I'm a cloud, I'm a cloud, I'm a cloud. There's no sunshine. They never showed you, okay, did any of them ever say to you, take a break? No. Because they've got gains in you not taking a break, obviously.
Break from holotropic?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they never says take a break. It was always just optional. You come or don't come. You come whenever you want.
Did any of them ever say to you, you're done?
No.
No. Just think about that. Just think about that.
It was always left up to your own devices, whether you think you're ready to lead. There was no obligation. Yeah. Same with the holotropic. Come whenever you want. Yeah. You know, but I mean, I just couldn't understand, why was I still behaving and acting, feeling and responding to the world. I've done all this therapy, I've done all this mental health stuff, I've done all this mindfulness meditation. Yeah. But I still didn't have a hold over my own physiology.
You'd no insight into it either.
I started struggling in 2012, you know. Well, no, I just realised there was the drink, the drugs, the this, and I started the therapy thing. 2016, I came across Bruce Lipton. Yeah. The Biology of Thoughts.
The Biology of Belief,
Joe Dispenza, a few other people. And I was hardcore into the therapy at this stage. Then I got the holotropic. And I let it slide. I fell in love with Eckhart Tolle, Thich Nhat Hanh, all them people.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to 2023, me and you then had that conversation, and me and you talked about biochemistry.
Yeah.
And that, me as someone that studied science, that just went, oh fuck.
Yeah, it made sense.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So like, you have the said problem which you think is a problem, or the issue or the trauma. Yeah. But for me, I was able to go, okay, so there's a couple of steps back that I haven't even took awareness of, and that's the biochemical impact of thoughts.
Yes.
That's a fascinating thing. Could we talk about that?
Absolutely. It's something that people...
So right back, so before the therapy, before the meditation, let's talk biochemistry.
You see...
Or physiology.
Within the body, and the non-dual teachers will call it the body-mind, and it's not a bad label. So you've got your body. Your body is a meaning-making machine. It's producing energy all of the time. A lot of the time, people are defined by the hormones of stress. They've got stress in their body just from day-to-day life, going out to work, whatever it is. And they have no insight whatsoever in understanding how they're extrapolating from their environment. So their environment is triggering them into a stress response, which is very, very familiar. And people, they are very used to being immersed in the hormones of stress without questioning anything about it. So I've got the hormones of stress are defining my experience in the kitchen at 8 o'clock in the morning. I just don't feel good. And not feeling good is very normal for people now.
And it's not even, it's like, it's just a background noise. It's just like you live beside a church, the bells go off all the time, and someone says, do you hear them noises? And you're like, don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
I didn't realise the background noise.
Yeah. The background noise.
Of, there's something not right here.
Yeah, so the background noise is the lower endocrine centres in your body talking incessantly all day, every day, since that incident in 1985. That's what it is, in different guises. So fear will be the Muladhara, be the first endocrine center, and that will talk. Your body, the endocrine centers in your body, first, second, and third, they talk. They've got a voice. When you feel angry, frustrated, enraged, this, that, and the other, that is a frequency that's broadcasting from your third endocrine center. The Hindus call it the Manipura. When that's translated, it means city of jewels. You can call it your third endocrine center. It's where your sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system is, your kidneys, your adrenals on top of your kidneys. That's where your fight or flight system broadcasts from that third energy center. So when you fight, when you're enraged and angry, that's what's speaking. When you run or you hide, that's, let's say, go in common sort of vernacular, ghosting someone, that's hiding, right? That's the nervous system ignited in a particular way, and it's like you said, it's unconscious. So this stuff is going on with people all day, every day. You'll notice people walking down the street mumbling to themselves. Who the fuck are they talking to? Or what's talking? That's what's talking. That's what's talking. Eckhart does great renditions of people kind of talking to themselves. What we're talking about here is the unwiring and the unfiring of the cloud and the dream and the lie of your personality, which is in your first, second, and third endocrine centers, in order for what? So that you can decloud all of that stuff so you can have some sunshine. Okay. And as we got into that conversation, as we started to explore that conversation, what started to happen is you started to see quite clearly, hang on a second, I'm angry, but I'm angry for no reason. I need my unconscious material. I need to become conscious of my unconscious material. So you go to the therapist and you say, I'm angry. They'll say, why? Why would you explore why you're angry when there's no reason for you being angry? It makes no sense. You're trying to get to the root of something. Why not just get rid of the cloud so you can feel some sunshine? Why is there not as much emphasis? Why is there no emphasis in the advertisements for holotropic breath work to say, it says holotropic breath work weekend happening next weekend in Tremor, and here's the facilitators, trauma release. What about some fucking joy release? What about some happiness release? What about peace release? It never says that.
But we're living in an age, Tom, right? And no defense to holotropic ayahuasca, we're living in an era now where, and I don't want to say someone that has experienced trauma, it's nearly like it's a niche now of let's deal with the trauma, let's bring it up, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty serious.
JC going crazy there.
That's pretty serious.
the angles are going mental. It's like, let's talk about trauma, because we live in an era, like, and I do it myself. The problem comes up, I will do an autopsy on it.
Yeah.
Like, let's have a look, or let's talk.
Yeah.
I've sent you messages, and even in the message, I'm like, blah, 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 because I want to get into it. I want to diagnose. I want to fucking...
Yeah.
And it seems to be the thing to do right now.
Yeah.
Gabor Mate, I read so many of Gabor Mate's books, and it's trauma this and trauma that.
And I've seen an interview with Gabor Mate, and the interview was with Adyashanti, who's a non-dual teacher. And Gabor Mate, for the life of him, could not grok or could not get Gabor Mate's whole ethos and system is the traumatized child. That's his thing. That's his gig. What if that traumatized child becomes a peaceful adult? What happens to his work then? It's over. It doesn't. people don't want to find the solution. They're all addicted to looking for a solution to a problem that's not so. It's seemingly so chemically in the body at the time.
Okay, and that's a very poignant piece there. It's the chemicals that are driving people that they're unaware of,
Yeah,
and they keep reigniting,
Yeah.
refiring, and wiring.
yeah,
Hebb's law.
yeah,
You keep firing and wiring that old story, and they can't seem to break the chain of it.
yeah.
But they don't want to let it go. Like, you know, the struggle I had even to think about taking a break from holotropic, taking a break from
What is that?
taking just
You know?
loyalty, and I just loved them, and they were so good to me. And my pal Debbie, I just love her to bits.
Yeah,
But it was like, oh, I don't want to shit on you, but I just want to go try something else. And even just to let that go, it meant like I had to let it go. Like even me saying, mind your little self. We know there's no little self.
yeah,
But for me, that's just a call to action, to be kind to yourself, to speak nice words, observe when you're not being
Yeah.
kind, and change your own biochemistry.
Yeah.
It's a loving and an endearment. But people don't want to let that piece go, that trauma. They've went, well, I'm after opening it up, and I've looked
Yeah.
into this box now. Now you want to tell me to let it go? Fuck that.
yeah,
And then you've the driver, which is the biochemistry.
yeah. Absolutely. So
Does that make sense?
it's perfect. It's like you are the living example of this truth. You have experienced in the last little while relief from the so-called problem.
Right.
This isn't me telling you about another methodology. This isn't me saying that you need me to show you this thing here. This is you having found the solution.
Right. So
This is Gandalf, Frodo, and Bilbo showing up to your gaff, and you're like, "I'm good, lads. You all head off. I'm good. I'll see you later."
and that happened.
Yes.
You know that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll paint a picture here, right? So when I met you in the park, we had the chat, and all that you said hit home because I read the books, looked at videos. It was all intellectually, I got it. Moved down to me, I got it.
Yeah.
So then we decided, yeah, let's have a chat. We'll do a bit of work.
Yeah.
So that was very similar for people if they want to paint, like going off to do the ayahuasca, going off doing the holotropic, going off thing, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
oh, that's the relief, da da da.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
Yeah.
You and our conversation weren't around on Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Thursday night, Friday morning,
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning, da.
Yeah.
When I'm in here,
Mm-hmm.
fucking with my eye mask on, meditating, going, Tommy's a prick, Tommy just talks shy, this doesn't work, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
yeah.
No ayahuasca,
Yeah.
you know, in Tesco. No ayahuasca when I meet someone in Lidl
Yeah.
and fucking want to stick a loaf on them.
Yeah.
Because that's where the real
Yep.
work happens.
It happens in Tesco.
And when
It
you're
doesn't happen in a Maloka in Peru. It happens in fucking Tesco on Bagot Street.
or somebody your ex texts you,
Big time.
or your team.
That's where it's
the
at.
work.
That's where it's at.
You're not around. Ayahuasca's
Exactly.
not around.
Now
Holotropic,
you got
breathwork,
it.
Maggie,
Now you got it.
right?
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. I have to do the hard yards.
Yes.
I have to do
Yes.
the miles.
Yes. And you see, if there's the butcher baker candlestick maker, there's the ayahuasquero, the curandero, the psychotherapist, the psychologist, the psychiatrist who has the medication. There's all these different places I can go. I got a little problem. I'm going to hang my hat on you. You're going to give me that solution. What we're talking about here is you are the fucking solution. You are what you've been looking for. There is no path or solution to peace when you are peace. You cannot look for what you are if you are it. But people have not realized on aggregate that they are what they've been looking for. They think, I've got a big problem and I need a big solution, so out into the world I go. But you're after realizing, because you woke up from the dream of Matt's problems. That's what happened. You're the solution that you've been looking for. You're not dependent on anyone or anything at any time. Not unless, and You can go and drink some cacao, the theobromine. It's very good for the body, but you ain't gonna find what you are there. You want to go and drink a 50-50 dose of ayahuasca with mimosa hostilis. Knock yourself out. The colors that you're gonna see are absolutely ineffable. They're a beautiful, beautiful thing, but you're not going to find what you are there. You're not going to find the solution there. You won't, because you can't find the solution there, because the solution is what you are. And you found the solution.
Most days.
Most days.
Most days.
And so it's very akin to weather. It's very akin to weather. All you got to do is investigate with a modicum of honesty. How am I feeling? So, how am I feeling? And actually ask yourself how you're feeling. Okay, how would I like to feel? Well, I'd like to feel a little bit more peaceful, because that will be your body's preference. Always, that will be your body's preference. Well, okay, well, do something inside yourself to make sure that you feel peaceful in the morning, and that you got 2 hours in the morning that you just feel peaceful. Why wouldn't you? Well, there's so many problems in the world. There's problems in the rent. Yeah, so all of those constructions, they're all clouds in front of the sun. You can do that all the time if you want. If you think you're going to go out into the world and get a solution, you're not. You're a perfect example. It's a very obvious example with you, but I'm telling you, I have seen people, and I know people that have done holotropic breath work for 3 decades. 3 decades, right? They were facilitators. I know people that have drank medicines. I actually know one lady who brought the first bottle of ayahuasca over here, a therapist, and I know people that have drank the medicines for absolute decades. They now know something's up. They now know that did not give the solution, because the solution is always predicated on you having a problem, and Instagram is rife with it. Instagram is telling you need an angel card reader, a tarot card reader, an oracle card reader, a this, that, and the other. And here's an example of what I am. I'm the end of the road. I'm growing up time. It's over. It's over. It's over. What you've been broadcasting from your first endocrine center, your second endocrine center, third endocrine center needs to be brought to a close. The neurological wiring and firing that's in your body needs to be unwired and unfired. How do we do it? By calming down the autonomic nervous system, and then new information can be input.
How do I relate that? Because that's what I heard you say when we spoke, and as much as it sounded brilliant and I loved it, it wasn't hitting home for me, because I've done therapy forever and a day, and I was always running to me therapist. It was always like, to be holotropic family, to this, to this, to this.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? Whoa, that doesn't make sense. I get it now, right? So how can I paint this to you? As you rightly said, stop speaking through the hormones of stress, stop acting through the hormones of stress. And what does that look like? When you realise that you're going around, and again, I can only talk about myself here, I observe my behaviours as a meditation teacher, as a meditation person. Now, this is all just not adding up. I shouldn't be like this. So I observe me practice.
That's honest. That's very honest.
And I'm ultra honest with myself. I'm going around putting out my problems, telling me man, telling me mates, telling this, ringing this person for support, this, all the while, and realise, if I'm like this, they're like this, so we're just two people having a game of gobshite tennis. Like, I tell you my problem, you tell me your problem, and we're wiring each other's problem, and that's incessantly that's realistically like firing and wiring each other's hormones of stress. So we're both just stressed.
Yeah.
We're not creating peace for each other.
Yeah. Yes, that's called mirror neuro bonding. Mirror neuro bonding. That's what it's called. I got a problem. Now I'm going to sit down with my mate at coffee, express the problem. More than likely, he'll drop his frequency, start to empathize with the problem. Now there's nothing but the problem.
Yeah.
What's being said here is the end of the fucking so-called problem, which is a solution.
Right.
People don't want the solution, and here's why. When there's a solution, you're going to go into withdrawals, chemical withdrawals from the problem.
I know that.
And the chemical withdrawals from the bullshit that you've been broadcasting since 1979, they're rough.
Rough.
Their withdrawals are rough.
I'll give you an example of what I've have to do. Again, I cut back on how many times I speak. You know, when we started talking and working together, the amount of messages I sent you, right? Like, blah, 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 blah. And then the conversation with all the people around. And they all want the fire and word, the drama. They all want, like my dad not being well, but everyone wants to talk about him not being well and that he's dying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've been talking about this and feeding this and loving it.
Yeah.
Not unconsciously,
Yeah.
oh, this is not on me, dad, and crying. I used to cry so much.
Yeah.
About something that's not happening.
Mm.
My dad's not dead. My dad's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
sick, but we're
Yeah.
all dying eventually. But what I realised was, cry, no problem. But you're firing and worrying, sadness and fucking hormones of stress. I then have to go to me dad, go to me ma. Where's the love? Where's the oxytocin? Where's the serotonin? Where's the dopamine? Where's the endorphins?
Exactly.
So I'm bringing stress all around with me, and then I go into me ma's. Where's the love and kindness that me dad needs?
Yeah.
Like, where's the happiness? Where's the joy? I need to be happy, and people say, well, you can't be happy stage 4 cancer. But dad wants to talk about football. He wants to talk about fucking whatever, rugby.
Yeah.
That takes love and kindness.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to switch off if you're coming from conversations of, oh, your dad, he's sick, and he's a great man, and da 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 da. So we've had to stop those conversations.
Yeah. And like, when you stop those conversations, you're going to be deemed to be unloving. So get ready for it.
Well, what me ma, when I said to me ma, I have to put in boundaries. I can't talk to this, and this person because that takes from you, and you.
Yeah.
I have to put boundaries in. I says, I will say in a very kind way.
Yeah.
Today is not the day I want to have that conversation about me dad.
Yeah.
And I will limit. And my ma said, well, don't be like that with people. Or don't be. And I said, ma, I'm never rude. I'm very compassionate towards people. But I have to be very mindful of my energy.
Yeah.
Because I have to be with you and me dad and me kids.
So what if, just to posit this idea, what if the general conversation in and around someone, not necessarily your dad, but someone, the generic conversation in and around somebody with so-called stage 4 cancer, right? What if the frequency of those conversations made that cancer frequency exacerbate more? What if those conversations make that worse? Because what's being shown is that they do. So, you got a sick kid, leukemia, 6 years of age. Joe was his name. Joe's laying in bed. Mom wants to go in and out of the room to look after Joe, which is natural. If mom is in her fight or flight system and she's absolutely terrified and walks into that room, what's walking into that room with Joe? Okay, so I'm not saying nothing about that other than, what if mom was able to do something with her energy and peace walked into that room? What would Joe benefit from? Joe would benefit from peace. But everybody is snorting lines of cortisol all day, every day.
Innocently.
Unconsciously. I understand it's unconscious, it's subconscious, but they're snorting lines of cortisol, adrenaline, noradrenaline, and they're doing it unconsciously all day, every day, and then they're in and around the person that's sick, wondering why they're sick. Well, it's fucking obvious. We know now. We know. When let's say, when two or more are gathered in the name of love, an electromagnetic field is broadcast and measurable from the fourth center in the body. What happens is when the body's frequency starts to raise itself to that fourth endocrine center, there is no disease in the body anymore, and it seems like something's been healed. There isn't something after being fucking healed. It was never there. It's in the body of the personality that's a drama llama and that likes to get into the cortisol snorting with mom, dad, sister, brother, this, that, and the other. Knock yourself out. People can do that all day, every day. I witnessed it with in and around my family. I could now, looking back on it, it's absolutely stunning how unconscious the whole unfolding was. But we now know that when two or more are gathered in the name of light and in peace, love, wholeness, unity, the all in all, whatever you want to call it, when we're gathered in peace, the electromagnetic frequency that broadcasts from my body, from your body, it has an interference pattern. When there's two interference patterns, there's an amplitude, which means the volume of our love goes up. What happens when me and you go into the room where little Joe is? What happens? I'm fucking telling you, we now know what happens. The frequency in the little boy's body, we know that it raises. This is maths. It's not spirituality. When two or more are gathered in the name of the fucking sacred equation, which is the electromagnetic field of peace and love emanating from your body. But people have to let go of the problem in order to inhabit the solution.
And that is the peace. That's peace is like, people will think or may feel that this is coming from a point of pointing and blaming, and it's not.
No.
And people will hold on and they'll attack because they think we're pointing fingers and judging. I don't do that shit.
Yeah.
I look at me first.
Yeah.
All this work I embarked with you was my self-reflections on I don't think this is working for me at a biological level or a physiological level. And people find it hard because it sounds like you blame. And it sounds like, how do I do that? Because they've been pre-programmed to be like this, and then you add complexity to it, the therapy, the counselling, and the dealing with fears, and the work that you and I have done, and me having to come in here and steer my own ship. It's like I'm normally shown how to steer the ship,
yes,
and I'm given the direction, and now I'm just blown in the wind and fucking. But by enduring that and going through it, I see the fruits of my labour. What's the fruits of my labour? I see peace around me. I also see drama llama when I am feeling drama llama. Like yesterday to this morning, nearly snapping at me young one because she met me with just, she wasn't in great form, and I took that personal. And But if I'm perfectly honest, before I even got on the call, I was the drama llama. So this just unfolded in front of me. And then I got off the phone going, for fuck's sake. Bollocks of that. I took it personal and I wanted her to be happy because that would have cheered me up. Now I'm going, fuck. So I get it with people might find this hard to digest. But you're just giving the fucking bare bones of what this really is.
Because that's all people can take. Because if you are what you've been looking for, which you are, listen, for fuck's sake, this is just, I've seen it and I've experienced it. When you get in touch even a little bit with what you are, you're gonna understand that you're faceless, you're nameless, you're guiltless, you're shameless, you're free. Sit in that space now. What do you see? From that place. You're not a body, you're not the thought, you're not a mat, you're not your childhood, you're not bound to this place in any way, shape or form. When you start to plug out all of these ideas that you have of yourself, you're gonna meet a frequency that's a higher frequency. And when you meet that frequency, you're going to know that you're the solution that you've been looking for, and you're the solution that you've been looking fucking from. You're the fucking ascended frequency that this place needs. You're not going to change this, man. You're not going to. I'm not talking about Matt with a Jesus complex. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you ain't Matt. You're the light that lights up the animated character that's called Matt. When you start to get Matt out of the way, what's going to meet your daughter is the light of what she is. This is fucking known. It takes a minute to get people to get this because they've been convinced, well, I'm Tommy with a problem. Oh, fuck me, I gotta go drink some ayahuasca. Oh, fuck me, I gotta go to another therapist. It's like, come on, man. What are we in? What the fuck are we in here? And when you get a little snapshot of the love that lights this up, you think, listen, your dad's got some stuff going on with his body. My dad left his body in 08. I think it was like March 08. 48 hours later, 48 hours after he died, so-called. Fucking what a crock of shit that is as well. So he's supposedly dead, right? And I had a so-called dream. And in this dream, I had some things that I thought I needed to sort out with him. And I was allowed meet him in a particular location. Most people on this here planet will call it a dream. It's not. It's a place. It's just not this place. It's a slightly different place. I met him, his energy in this place, and the light that was there was astonishing. It was astonishing what I saw. And people, how he interacted, he put his hand on my arm in this dream, and we blended into a bigger light. Two lanterns became the one light, and I had an experience in this location that when I came out of it, every difficulty that this Tommy here thought he had with his dad was gone. It was gone. Completely gone, 100% gone, like it was never there. Because in truth, this being a movie, it was never there. So, the light that was experienced in this particular location with my dad, who had physically passed away 2 days earlier, solved everything between me and him. Ever since that time, ever since that happened, I'm telling you 100% that death, it's not real. It's not real. I've seen it. Like, I've had meditations, many of them, where I've been in completely different places, which when you have the experience, you can never get it across to somebody. So when people talk to me about death, I'm not really listening. It seems quite discompassionate, and it seems unplugged, and seems like, you're not being realistic, Tommy. And I'm like, no, you're not being realistic. You're not being realistic.
We live in such a materialistic world. Everything is matter.
Yeah.
Low vibration. That's how matter works. Energy. It's low vibration. Why it works. Why this is matter. And it's why people are so fixated on the body, and in the body is the physiology.
Yeah.
And as much as I do this work with you, and we're doing my work, I get to a place and I pull back to the body and pull back to my physiology.
Always, yeah.
And that keeps me low vibration.
Sure, yeah.
At times.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to reverse the reversal. So,
go on.
Have you noticed in the world recently, or that people are saying it's like an upside down world? It's like people can't agree on anything. That type of thing. And then there's people that are 100% convinced that masks do this and we really, really need to all mask up. And then there's other people that are like, no, that's absolute horseshit, that's not true. So there's these complete diametrically opposed.
Trans movement,
Yeah,
genders,
a little boy, 6 years of age now. He's like he believes he's a little girl. So it's the reversal, right?
Yeah,
so it's the
loads
reversal.
of all that.
Loads of all of that reversal, yeah. And you can see there are certain flags in the world. You can see certain flags and certain ideologies and stuff like that, and you'll see that they're the reversal of the chakra system. You'll see, just look at it, it's reversed. It's amazing.
Right.
So in terms of just it being flipped up, so basically the reversal of the reversal is the first three endocrine centers. The first one is red, the second one is orange, and the third one is yellow. Okay, so those three colors have been running this place through the hormones of stress, and what we're doing is we're reversing that by getting into the green and getting into the turquoise and those higher colors. So it means that we're learning how to broadcast a free Stop going on a journey looking for peace. Start understanding that you are peace. Start broadcasting a frequency of peace and see what happens in your day-to-day life.
Okay, here's the thing, that's fucking brilliant, and it's great. It's like getting a table in IKEA and you're given the instructions.
Yeah.
I had to find out how to do that shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You can't just say it.
No, right?
Yeah.
And I used to, be the peace. And I was explaining to somebody in a workshop or in a chat as well. I'm like, what does that mean? And I was like, you have to stop talking through it and being through it. And they said, what does that mean? So I like to give examples. A kid came in, or a man came into the stall, and he's like, how much is that? And I said, that's €6. And I seen that for €2 somewhere else. 1, 2, and 3 endocrine centers lit up like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He moves on to something else.
Yeah.
How much is this? And I said, da, 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 da. And he went, I seen that, da, 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 da.
God, love him.
Okay,
Jesus.
2 in a row. Boom.
Yeah.
Then why don't you go there and fucking buy it? Why don't you? Why don't you do that?
Yeah.
And off he went.
Yeah.
So that was me speaking through it, acting through it. My energy went through, and I looked at my daughter and I said, "Do you see what I just done there?" Okay. So I then observed. That's what speaking and working through it was.
Yeah.
Next time that happened, I just go, "That's okay. That's okay." That was like rubbing sandpaper across me, fire across me, John Thomas. That was hard, but I was being the peace from me, and I was speaking from here.
Yeah.
I didn't act out. That makes sense?
Yeah.
That's how we apply this.
Yeah. One of the things that needs to happen is the cascading river of your own bullshit drama needs to be depleted.
Yeah.
And that's through a meditative process. That's not a meditative process that's going to add anything onto you. It's going to undo you.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 active endocrine centers. You've got fear, you've got lack, and you've got rage. We need your drama to be depleted. So much so that when this man comes, so where are we trying to get to? This man comes to the stall next week and he says, well, you see that object there that you're selling for 6, I seen that for 4. And you say to him, I'll give it to you for 3. That's the end of it. That's the end of it. I'll give it to you for 3. And he goes, I've got no money. Okay, here's a gift. Because that's what it is to be peace.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Now,
there is no ascended masters. You're it.
You're the peace.
You're it.
You're the love.
You're Yeshua.
Yeah.
You're Yeshua. You're the living, you are the second coming of Christedness in this place, in a market, in the liberties where nobody's fucking looking. That's where it happens.
And this is funny, right? I've often got people and they spend lots of money or whatever. And in here, we'll want to give a gift. I want to be kind.
Yeah.
And then this will kick off and go,
I need the money.
Yeah, don't be stupid. Like when I found that money, remember I found the money
and
I text you?
Yeah.
Down here was going, don't fucking give that money
Yeah.
away. Don't give them a gift.
Yeah.
You're a bad businessman. You can't earn lots of money.
Yeah.
That was speaking or wanting to do, and this fucking took over.
Yeah.
And I had to become aware of it
Yeah.
and go, and that's evident in the meditations I do. This fires up where this wants to just be in control, just like, just do nothing, just other than be in love. And this will speak. I didn't realise the sub vocalization, the fucking incessant manic fucking
that can be stopped. So the incessant 80,000 thoughts a day, the sub vocalizations, the voice in your body can be stopped. But it has to be, the first thing you have to do in order to stop it is to notice its movement. Oh, and then you're like, okay, I have a dark passenger in my body that I can't control. I now know it's not me. Now you're getting onto something a little bit more metaphysical. I got a dark passenger. Now I know it's not me. It's fucking acting like me. It speaks like me, walks like me, talks like me, has obsessive thoughts like me, seems to be me, but now the observer in your system is looking, going, wow, what is this sort of darker chemistry in me? Exactly. And now you're gonna go to the only jihad there's ever been. The only spiritual war that's ever been has been between the light of what you are and the, let's call it, the darker chemistry. And that's where the war will happen. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep your frequency lit through the meditative process in order to dampen the personality structure's darker chemistry. And I'm not joking you, the obsessive thoughts that you once had, they're gone. Why? Because you stopped it. You stopped it. People don't want to stop it though. They like snorting cortisol in this place. This planet can be like a big bathroom, and everyone's on the cistern, snorting cortisol.
Okay, I can attest to that. I can agree to that. Again, we're going, everyone's snorting, and people go, "Well, Hardy." I'm going to talk about me. I was driving on the road one day, thinking about something, thinking about somebody, and a cocktail,
exactly,
of emotions and feelings come up and stress, and I was in my van just bathing in it, taking a little fucking Cleopatra fucking bath. This is all beautiful. And I realised, man, what the fuck are you doing?
There you go.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I just like about stuff that's not even happening. This person broke up with me, and I really liked them, and just reminiscing about and just really eliciting them.
So when you had an experience where you were grieving somebody that wasn't dead yet, the facilitators that were in your company at that time mollycoddled what's not happening. They did. Why? It wasn't happening. So you're in a holotropic breathwork room. You're on a mattress. Okay.
Oh, that's
So you got facilitators.
But I've had therapists that we've talked about. We went through this with therapies as well.
And you would be talking about what's not happening, and they would be helping you with what's not happening. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, look, I spoke to Maggie, my therapist, about, like, you know, my dad dying and the sadness of it and the stuff. I'm like, my dad's not dead. Like, and I was...
That's, like, I don't know what to do with that. Mine is so-called dead. I seen him 2 days later, so he fucking, you know...
Yeah, and it's no disrespect to Maggie, because I went to holotropic with this, and I went to the therapist with this, and I went to this,
that's
and
cool.
they facilitated me. I'm the driver in this. I'm taking full responsibility. No blame here.
That's insane.
But on top of me being insane.
Yeah, but hang on a second. No, forget about the personalities that may have been named. Let's forget about all of them. Let's say you went and you did holotropic breath work in England with facilitators you don't know. I can guarantee you they would have facilitated this in you, because it seems like you're having a big experience. You're crying about this fella not being around anymore, and they'd be holding space for you, and maybe dunking you in an ice bath or whatever they'd be doing to help you. But it's all predicated on a problem that isn't happening.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane.
But-
on the part, not just of you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm not like, but anyway, but on the part of the facilitators, why, what is it in them that they think honouring what's not happening is a good idea? That seems delusional to me, because it is delusional.
But society it's in society.
I know.
Like it's like everyone wants to talk about stuff that's not even happening.
Exactly.
And I do that.
Exactly.
Why I was crying in my car that day, why I cry when I go to the therapist,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
crying over a breakup or crying over.
Yeah, and
it's not about against crying. I've not like I cried a lot.
I'm a professional.
Yeah.
I'm really good at crying.
Yeah.
And it's very good for you. Very good for the serotonergic system, and like this morning when I was making coffee for myself and Rachel, I was listening to a little bit of music and I was making some coffee, and then this kind of old wiring started to show up, and there was a thought about this fella here, and I was looking at it. I was like, fuck off. And it might stay. No, actually, fuck off. There's nothing here for you. So I like one of the best spiritual things you can do for yourself is tell yourself to fuck off. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
And
Stop.
that could like a great place to start that, and I talk about this in workshops, and the work we've embarked on and the work that's really coming to fruition is in meditation. We get an opportunity to practice that in what I would call low stakes, like having conversations, hard to apply these skills, apply these tactics or whatever you want to do, or especially when you're with your ex or someone else and it's high stress. But when you sit down in your fucking your bedroom or on your sofa and meditate, this stuff comes up, the thought, the feeling, the doubt, the fucking skepticism, and it comes at you like fucking sexual ninja. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're just like, fuck off. Like just stop. Come back to the breath. Come back to the breath. Come back to the mantra. Come back to the whatever.
Yeah, and
feeling.
that is the neurological unwiring and unfiring. So when you start to call your unconsciousness out, first you have to know you're deeply unconscious. Then you got to know how to call it out. Why am I thinking and feeling this way? There's no point. So when you do that and you start calling it out, you are de facto unwiring it. We know that that's what's happening. So if you can unwire and unfire this problem that you have with that girl there, then surely you don't need to go to the therapist and talk about that girl then, right? Well, of course you don't. And then if you do this enough, you're going to find, which you found, it was so natural. You found, I don't really have a desire to go to the therapist. Why? Because you know now. You've seen it.
My life has dramatically changed. I know I can be catastrophic in moments, like, oh, this doesn't work, and Tommy's the fucking brick and all. I was like,
you called me the devil one
I called you
morning.
the devil.
That was
Dave.
fucking brilliant.
And then by the end of the meeting, I thought you were fucking.
There you go.
Saint.
There you go.
But I mean, the thing, like, on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour, moment-to-moment level, this is changing me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm changing myself. Like, I just texted my young one last night in service of this interview going to her. I have noticed I'm less this, and that.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Do you see that, love?
Yeah.
And she says, yes, I'd agree. Because when anytime I'm doing anything, she'll be my go-to.
Yeah.
I'd say,
for
what's
feedback or
yeah,
whatever.
like what's
she'd be honest with you.
yeah, straight up. She sees me idiosyncrasies and me mentalness, and she's like, no, definitely that.
Yeah.
And I see that. Like, I mean, even down to masturbation.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I met Jeff Thompson the early years, my mentor, and I love him. I only sent him a voicemail yesterday and I love him. And he said, why are you here? And I said, I'm a truth seeker for myself. I want to do the truth, be the peace, be the peace. And he said to me, you know, what is there? What is there behaviour in your life that you want to? Porn was a big one. No judgment against porn. I just didn't feel good. Didn't feel right for me. That just disappeared out of my life. And I was like, masturbation. Why was it doing? I ever go, just it's pleasure. Again, like what we started with, Tom. what was the driver? These were driving and not good enough, not fit enough, and wanting to get away from that. I'll go masturbate just to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Since we've started this process, and I've just met him, there's no need.
Yeah.
There's no need.
I know, yeah, yeah.
And I am a single man and all that.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
still
yeah.
no need.
Yeah.
And the want for it's just not there.
Yeah.
It's just why do I need to do that?
Yeah.
Yesterday, today,
Yeah.
the idea will come in,
Yeah.
and I go, walk off,
Yeah.
walk off.
Yeah. 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 And I think that the whole kind of first endocrine center, that sort of sexual energy, it's so misplaced in this place. It's so misplaced. So, like, sexual interactions that are healthy, that are just looked after properly, are absolutely amazing. I'm into that energy coming up vertically. I am not into it going out horizontally, because it went out horizontally in my life for long enough, and it did nothing but cause trouble. It caused nothing but trouble.
I broke people's hearts. I fucking slept with people, one night stands, and just like people think, the masturbation, but they live in the same house together.
Yeah.
You know, just
it's all the same.
I had a bad relationship, but a masturbation to make me feel better, sex with someone to make me feel better. I'm hurting them, I'm hurting me.
Yeah.
Like, I've no judging. You want to masturbate, watch porn, fucking knock yourself out, do whatever you want. No pun intended. For me, it's just like, that's just not right. Like drinking, I don't drink anymore. I'm just not into it. I don't want to be in that situation. It's not for me.
Yeah.
And that was driven by my biochemistries.
Yeah. So I think it's just really important, because there's a lot of people, especially men, locked into the porn thing. And it's important for me to say that through this investigation, it became very obvious that porn was a dark passenger. It just was a dark passenger. No good ever came from porn with me. It was a hole that you would kind of dig and think you were going to get out of, but you never get out of it. It was always there. Not unlike sugar. Not unlike, it had an awful lot of similarities to sugar in terms of the compulsion and stuff like that. So, just to say it's one of the best things about my life is that relief. That's not there. And I was working one-to-one with a guy, and he's young, and we were doing bits and pieces. We were meeting on a regular basis for a while, until such time as that wasn't needed. And so he told me a little while into our work, he said, just as a matter of interest, has this ever happened other people that you've worked with? And he said that it naturally occurred that he let go of it. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. When you've got peace moving through your system, at least 50% of the time, you do not have the agitation that leads to looking for that type of relief. You just, it's chemistry.
Oh, that piece there, like people say to me, did you go to the rooms, AA, did you give up drink, you know? I said it just became a place where I didn't want that in my life, because it didn't bring me peace.
Yeah.
So same with the drugs, same with the sleeping around, the riding around, the porn, the masturbation. They're slowly just moving out of my life.
Yeah.
Because I see the driver.
Yeah. You see the driver.
And exactly. It's not in service of peace.
Exactly.
Like, you know, I want peace in my life, and I'm glad you said that 50%. I'm moving towards that.
Yeah.
You know, like just a nice peace. Yeah. Like, my peace is in the meditations.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd get to that place.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Fucking, like, just...
That's so good for your body chemically. You're literally microdosing with light. You're microdosing with light.
There's still a driver in there looking to do something in it.
Yeah.
for something to happen.
Yeah. And
If I do this, if I hold my breath, if I breathe a little harder, if I breathe a little faster, or if I
trying to have an effect.
trying to have an effect.
Yeah. The third endocrine center is going to be forever and a day trying to have an effect in this.
Trying to have an effect. That's
Yeah.
You nailed it there.
Yeah.
Trying to have an effect. I
Yeah.
want to see bliss. I want to see lights and
Yeah.
unicorns on fucking.
Yeah. So the third endocrine center is always gonna want to have experience. But if we chemically adapted your body right now and you felt unequivocally large quotients of oxytocin and serotonin and dopamine running through you, and you felt wholeness, if you felt peace, if you felt joy, and just a kind of an overall sense of well-being, but you felt like wholeness and oneness, if you felt those things right now, there'd be nothing to look for. But the point about the heart's chemistry, or the thymus gland's chemistry, or the fourth endocrine center's chemistry, is that when it becomes activated, you won't be looking for anything in a world, you'll be what the world is looking for. It's different. It's real different. So you don't have to, your third endocrine center is going to push you out there with Frodo, Bilbo and Gandalf. It's going to push you out there looking to have an effect. If you say, I'm going to just stay here and meditate for the day, Gandalf, you guys head off, you jump on your couch, put on an eye mask, deplete the idea that you have to move anywhere. Peace will start to show up in your thymus gland as thymosin, oxytocin, serotonin. It will flood your body, and then the very thing that your third endocrine center went out into the world looking for something now comes to you. It's magnetic. It's magnetic. You've noticed it even with I noticed when the money showed up in front of you, I was like, it's starting to happen.
Yeah. And but that's I want that effect to happen. But if we get into like what's important to me, like how I go to me man, how I speak to me man, how I hold me man, you know, how I approach the world, that has changed.
Yeah.
Like globally, like if you look from a helicopter view, there's a lot more peace, there's a lot more compassion. It's in my interaction with the world. There's less crying and sadness. No disrespect to crying and sadness.
Yeah.
It's just not necessary and it's not appropriate in moments. I still cry, but just not over stuff that's not happening right now.
Yeah.
Write me dad's obituary. Like write me dad's fucking speech at his funeral. Like, what the fucking mad?
Yeah.
But just in my interaction with people in the market, my daughters, just
there's a saying, misery loves company. And it's very connected to the idea of mirror neuro bonding. Two girls at a coffee shop kind of having a kind of a gossipy, bitchy, energetic interaction. There's something chemically addictive about that. Misery loves company. And you always have to watch for unnecessary misery rising up in your body. You can stop it and say, no, there's no need. You see, misery likes to present itself. It likes to masquerade itself in your body as something that needs attendance now.
Yeah. I had stuff going on last night after workshops that like I went with my energy and whatever happened. It's a great place. But I was just mindful of my energy, and then I brought it out there and I brought it home. I said, I'm not going to talk about this. And I just talked. I was like, you meant to not fucking talk about this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a clusterfuck of what's not happening. It likes to continuously. I noticed it. I met my sister at a coffee shop a little while ago, and there's history and all of this, that and the other, so-called. So I went to the coffee shop and I sat down, and I'm not joking you. She was speaking and talking about what she was talking about, and this, that and the other. It was mesmerizingly peaceful. I couldn't believe it. I was just kind of sitting there listening to her, absolutely mesmerized. I had no history with this person. The history was gone. I met her like I had never met her before, because I had never met her before as peace. And I was quite baffled. I was like, what's going on? Like, That's my sister. I know her. But none of it was there. Nothing pinged. Nothing. Fucking nothing pinged.
Really?
Nothing fucking pinged. If you go with what we're saying, here, you can have an experience of freedom in this place, the likes of which the breathwork isn't giving you, the therapist isn't giving you, the ayahuasca isn't giving you, the psychedelics isn't giving you. It's not. Stop lying to yourself about what it's giving you. Start doing the inner work you need to do with yourself, by yourself, on the couch, on your own when no one's looking. And then learn how to shut the fuck up. learn how to stop the bullshit on my sister, and when I was there, she did this and did this. So all of that sort of stuff wants to ping. All of that stuff used to want to ping in my body. Now I sit down with my sister and I was like, oh, I love her. Wow. Just, she might project one of her feelings onto me, and I just look at the feeling that she's projected. It's got all the history on it. I'm like, do you want another scone? Because I'm staying. I'm just fucking loving this. Because I've never been in your company before. The only thing that's been in your company before is a compulsive masturbator in every endocrine center. So compulsive masturbation is not just compulsive masturbation with porn. It's compulsive masturbation of the third endocrine center as rage. Well, you fucking shouldn't have said that to him, and how come when she visited from London that you's never said that to me and you kept me as make sure that you didn't. Clusterfuck of my bullshit. So what did I do? What's the spiritual thing that I did? I said, shut the fuck up. All the way. How did I do it? I sat on a couch, I put on an eye mask, and then a war broke out. A war broke out inside me chemically. And when it broke out, I started to watch it. The observer started to observe the war breaking out. And then I meditated again, and it was less, then it was gone. Then I sat with my sister, and I was peaceful, and there was nothing there. Why not? That's what can happen. You can have a relationship with the people that you have a relationship with that's not based on anything historical. You did this and you did that, and she did this and she did that. No thanks. I want to feel good. I am a basic addict, a basic chemical addict, and I just don't want to be snorting lines of what's not happening. So I say to that drug addict, shut the fuck up. How do I shut him up? I neurologically unwire and unfire the lower endocrine centers through a meditation process that me and you both know about. And what happens then is peace shows up in the body. Then there's no more drama. And there's nothing like walking around this place with, Jesus, honestly, with me, 85% of the time, it's just peaceful. And the creativity, there's different things that will have a scratch to it that need to be kind of melted more, but 85% of the time it's like, wow. And you see, you have to understand that the hologram, the 3D space and time hologram that we're in right now is born of your drama.
Fear FM,
exactly.
Drama FM,
exactly.
Bullshit FM.
Exactly.
And it's time to change the frequency,
exactly.
Isn't it?
Exactly. And you will unequivocally affect the hologram, your mom, your dad, your dog. You will affect that hologram when what you're broadcasting into it is what you are, and you're not your history. So do not broadcast into it what you're fucking not.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Wow, what a beautiful interview. That was
fun.
That's gonna be a bit of digesting for people.
I know, yeah.
I think there's a deeper conversation. I think that is enough to go with right now.
Yeah. That's the surface sort of foot soldier game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next one we'll talk about there's no floors or ceilings.
which will be brilliant.
But I have to experience that first. I know it at an intellectual level, and I'm getting there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's
What a fact.
What a fact.
What a fact.
Yeah.
Fucking.
There's no floors, there's no ceilings.
No.
It's all illusion.
Yeah. God bless you.
Have to
That was brilliant.
hang on
yeah.
for a second.
Yeah.
Guys, there you go. Wrap your fucking chops around that conversation. You are all that you're looking for. You are the peace. You are the love. You are the kindness. What you're seeking is seeking you, and you're it. Thanks very much. Please share this with family and friends. If this helped you, let us know. Put some comments in. Give us some likes on iTunes, on social media. I need all those affirmations to make me feel better. As always, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank Noel Riley, Rooney Media Graphics. Without that absolute legend, this wouldn't be possible. He keeps me on track. Shannon's Hope Line, and all the amazing people that send me love and kind words that inspire me to keep doing this. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You up the flats, and mind your little self. Thanks a lot. What a fantastic interview. Tommy is an absolute legend. Please share with family and friends, and if you want to be extra awesome, go over to my YouTube channel, Magic Mind, subscribe, give us a now like, and have an absolutely deadly day. And don't forget to mind your little self. Yup the flats. Yup.